Ohayo Villagers, welcome back to the village. If you are new, hello, welcome, I'm Kai, and today we're going to be talking about the best new Super Soul in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. But before we get started, please do sub to the channel if you are new, or maybe not, you've been watching this for a little bit, today is your day. But yes, this is what I think is probably the best Super Soul in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, or at least it's one of them. Maybe not the best yet, we'll have to really keep playing with it to figure that out. But yeah, if you aren't aware, Gamma 2 the God brought us a really good and interesting Super Soul here. You need to be more careful. Gamma 2's new Super Soul, once only, when guard is broken, recovers from guard break. And when the opponent uses an ultimate attack, recovers stamina. This is huge. The reason being, you can break your own stamina, they can break your stamina, and you're just gonna be fine. I've heard people talking about comparing this to limit bursts, because limit bursts, they break your stamina, you can get out of it, you're fine. You could have two ways of just being good. This will make the fight last a lot longer. Like, a lot of my ranked fights that I did with this Super Soul, most of them lasted at the whole 3 minutes. Just because you have to go through my stamina, break it, go through the stamina again, break it, limit burst. Bro, it's kind of unfair, because if the other person doesn't have that Super Soul, the fight just lasts very long. And I kind of like it. I think that the game, I like the fights to last longer. But I just think it speaks to how strong the Super Soul really is. Something I want to talk about before we really get into some other stuff is this could be really good with awoken skills that consume stamina. Kaioken, Giant Namekian. These forms are going to be buffed just because of the fact you can now go into them and not have to really be concerned about your stamina. You know, I think this was really necessary for those, because we don't see a crazy amount of gameplay of Kaioken. Like, I don't remember the last time I went into ranked and fought someone using Kaioken at all. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, because you have this Kaioken, you have all this stamina, and then you could just snap around, go crazy with your buffs, and then you lose your stamina, you're done? Nah, you just get it all right back. I don't want to overlook the second part of this, where if your opponent uses an ultimate attack, you recover stamina. It's a decent amount. So let's say you're already stamina broken, you already ran through your first part of the Super Soul. Now you have this, and you'll get your stamina back faster. It's not anything too crazy. If you're stamina broken, honestly, they've already burnt through all of your ways to survive. You're probably going to end up dying if it's gotten that far, because that's going to be pretty deep into the fight to where they're actually able to stamina break you. So that's why I think that part of it, especially after actually using it, not just reading it, I think that's where the Super Soul, like, that's where the second half of it's really not that great. I think there are some scenarios where it can work out pretty good for you. Like, if they just don't even know, they don't even try to break your stamina, they just immediately go for like a warp or something like that, or just an ultimate, boom, stamina's back, you're chilling. So I think there's some, it definitely has some use, that part of it, but it's not as good as the first part, especially because the first part, it's not just based on your opponent, it is just period. Stamina broke, you're good. That is what makes this so good. If it was just that your opponent needed to guard break you, then I think that's where it's not as crazy. But the fact that, again, it is just when you get your stamina broken that you get all of it back, that's why this Super Soul is so good. And another thing I wanted to really quick mention too is that the limit burst is all health regen. So you have all of these ways that you can survive, being through your stamina coming back, the opponent doing an ultimate and you get stamina off of that. You also have your limit burst, which is an auto health limit burst. So you have your stamina, good, solid, don't gotta worry about that. And your health also can be recovered. There's just so many ways the opponent can't kill you. Now, using this Super Soul doesn't just help out those awoken skills that take stamina. Think about the awoken skills that are already kind of just perfect. Potential Unleashed, Super Saiyan God. Now, you have these really good awoken skills, the best in the game, and you can't die. What? That is just so unfair. You have Super Saiyan God with your massive basic attack buff. And then on top of that, you have not one way to survive, not 2 ways to survive a stamina break, but you kind of have 3 ways. They have to go through so much stamina before they can even really start to kill you. Again, this Super Soul just really makes the game last a long time. That's the major takeaway for me. Like, even if I end up losing every single time, it takes to the 3-minute mark, which I'm gonna reiterate, I love that. I think that in some cases, though, this is gonna, not in some cases, in a lot of cases, this is really just gonna be unfair, and it's gonna, I think, get repetitive after a while when, like, you're in ranked and you think you're finally done. It kind of has a you must die by my hand vibe, but instead of just leaving you alive with a sliver of health, you have all of your health and you instead get back stamina, which is why it's just so much better. Xenoverse 2 has kind of always been a stamina game, you know, conserving your stamina, playing, you know, timid was like the mainstream thing to do, just because that was what would always, you know, be successful. You can remain timid, you conserve your stamina, and then you win the stamina battle, so you win the actual battle. Now you can play a lot more recklessly and be more aggressive, because that's kind of more in tune of how I play video games. I'm really aggressive, and I've been trying to get better at that. But now you can play aggressive, and you really don't have to worry as much. You know, you still have to be, you know, conscious of what you're doing, and not just like go swinging, and then get yourself killed. You know, but now you can just kind of play aggressive, and really just be okay. And that's what I really like, actually. That's probably my favorite part about the Super Soul. Even though you're not getting any sort of damage buff, there's no nerfs to you. You're not being nerfed. It's not like your stamina recovery slowed or anything for the rest of the battle. Your key recovery's fine. Those are the things we look for. You know, your defense is the same. Everything's the same. The only difference is you have an extra life. It's like Xenoverse gave you a 1-up. What? That's wild. And that's why I'm so happy with this DLC after, just because of this. And then, not to mention, you know, you have the new Ki Blast, which is just, it looks really cool. And I know there's some tech with that as well. So, the last thing I want to bring up, I guess, with this Super Soul, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about it in the comment section below as well, because I'm sure I'm going to be seeing a lot of new and interesting ways to use it from a lot of people, because it is just really different from what we've had before in the game. But when it comes to this, I really think that this is a positive. I know it's broken, but I think it's a positive. I think that this just makes things a lot more interesting. And I was a little disappointed with this DLC. As you guys know, I talked about it before. I talked about it a little bit on Twitter too. After this, I'm feeling pretty okay. You know, Gohan may be disappointing to me, but I still think that this Super Soul really helped me feel better about this. And I am going to be talking about how I feel about the DLC as a whole in a video pretty soon. I have a lot of thoughts on it, but this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun with this. But yeah, though, with that, I'm Kai. Peace.